Hello, my name is Patricia Brooks, and this is Courage Concept number 29. When we change our stories, we change our experiences. The other day, I was watching a Democratic debate, and one of the candidates said something that really struck me. He said, out of narrative comes policy. And that struck me because as a coach, I work with my clients all the time on the stories they tell themselves and how that impacts their actions and the results they see in life. And this out of narrative comes policy is a very similar thing. When I graduated from college, I landed a job and I did not have a good time at that job. In fact, it was 9 months of a nightmare. Before I took that job, I had the belief that racism had pretty much been eradicated and that I would not experience it. It was something that my parents had to fight through and survive through. But now, then in 1989, that would not be something I would have to deal with. And that was the story I told myself. But after experiencing racism there, discrimination there, my story changed. And I took on the story that racism was something that, and discrimination was something that I was going to have to fight against for any job that I was in. And so after 9 months, I was fired, and that stuck with me. That story stuck with me. And I took that into many of the jobs that I got afterwards. Unconsciously took this a little bit of underlying undercurrent of anger. And that did not really help me be as successful as I could have been in those subsequent jobs. But it was a story I was telling myself unconsciously, and it impacted the experiences I had. About, 8 years ago, I had this awakening, this realization that I was telling myself this story, and that the way I was being treated in any job was not necessarily due to being discriminated against. And when I changed my story about that, I showed up differently. My energy was different. And as a result, things started to flow a little better for me. When we change our stories, we change our experiences. This concept goes to the catalyst for cultivating courage, that is shifting your perspective, because when you believe something to be true, you act a certain way. And when you change your belief about that story, or you change that story, then you change how you respond or how you react, and your results change too. In order for you to use this concept in your daily life, I have a few questions for you to help you to become aware of some stories that you may be telling yourself that you're not even aware of, and that may be negatively impacting the experiences you have in life. Question number 1 is, I'd like for you to write down something you'd like to change about your life or your situation, and just write that down. Question number 2 is, what stories are you telling yourself about your situation? Now, in order to help you think through this, here are some questions you can consider. What are the reasons that you are in this situation that you are in? What do you believe about the situation that you are in right now? What do you believe about your ability to make changes to that situation? And why haven't you already made changes to this situation? These are just a few questions to help you think through the story or stories you're telling yourself about the situation that you want to change. And then number 3 is, I'd like for you to think about and ask yourself this question: how true is the story that I wrote down in number 2 for you right now in this current moment? How true is the story that you're telling yourself about the situation for you right now? In question number 4, what would you do if you believed that positive change to your situation was possible for you? And I'd like for you to write that down. Now, these questions are really meant to help you to see how you are what you're telling yourself about your situation and how that may be impacting what you have done in the past or what you could do in the future in order to affect change with this situation. That's courage concept number 29. When we change our stories, we change our experiences. That's all I have for you today. Bye for now.